Hey everybody, good evening to everyone. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Successful Entrepreneurs. I'm so excited today that I even got the title of my own show wrong. Oh my god, that's amazing, that's fabulous. You can tell that I'm truly excited because tonight I have with me a very special guest who had actually been on the show before already, pre-COVID. We recorded it and we put it on YouTube, and many of you guys actually wanted us to do a live version of it, which is why I have actually invited the world's number one wisdom coach, the Steve Jobs of wisdom, back onto the show with us today. And we have with us Mr. Vikas Malkani. Okay, so right, this gentleman here is super amazing. Right, I'm gonna get him to share his life story for those of us who may not know his life story. So I'm gonna get him to share a little bit later. So I'm not gonna spill the beans right now. But I'm telling you, when I first met Vikas, right, for those of you who don't know, I only knew him when I actually traveled to the United States of America. That was close to, I think, 2 over years ago. And I actually met him at a conference where we had over 2,500 people in attendance. And then there's this gentleman who just went up on stage and then he started to talk to everybody and said, "Hi everybody, wisdom is the way to move ahead in life." And he started talking, right? Obviously he didn't say that like for what I did, but he basically was sharing about wisdom. And no, it was just such a unique topic that it grabbed all our attention. And for the next 10, 15 minutes, all of us just glued to this gentleman walking back and forth on stage, left to right. And we were just listening and absorbing every single thing they were saying. And I remember at that point in time, I had my notebook. I was just writing down notes after notes after notes. And I was just writing so much. And at the end of his speech, right, the whole hall, 2,500 of us, and as far as I could see, every single one of us stood up and we gave him a standing ovation for over a few minutes. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm so blessed because after that, I actually went up to this gentleman. I said, "Hey, I'm Gavin. My name is Gavin. I'm from Singapore. And, I really enjoyed your speech." And lo and behold, Vikas was based in Singapore. And that's why I actually had the opportunity to really catch up with it a lot more. And, from there, we actually started to partner together, and I got to learn so much over the 2 years that I know this amazing gentleman. And I really wanted him to come onto the show today to share with every single one of you who is watching this right now on how wisdom can really change or improve your life, improve your business, improve every single aspect of what you're doing. All right, so it's super amazing. So I've been going on for quite some time. I'm going to hand the stage over to Vikas very shortly. But those of you who are watching, we now have about 20 of you who are watching right now. Say hi. Don't be shy, right? Type down hi in the comment section. Let us know, right? Spam the love and like button. And don't forget to share this video as well. Because you know what? Wisdom is everything that we need today. So share this out. Share the love. Share the wisdom. So Vikas, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with you and happy to be sharing wisdom with everyone who's watching to help their life and their business and their potential to grow to the maximum.
I'm just so sitting in awe right now because if you are listening to this, right, you're listening on headphone or whatever, if you just listen to the voice alone, it's already so amazing, right, to be listening to this very calming voice that is going to be sharing a lot of wisdom with us, that's going to be sharing so much things that's going to add so much value with us. So, all right, Vikas, again, I think it's very amazing that you're on the show, and we have a lot of people joining us today from all over the world. I think we have Sean, right? We have Sean here. We have Evelina. We have Sally. We have my dad is here. We have Millie. We have Sammy. We have so many people who are watching right now. So again, guys, don't be shy. Say hi. And Vikas, for some of those who may be watching this interview right now and they have no idea who you are, could you give a short introduction on who you are, what you actually do, and how do you come to be called the world number one wisdom coach?
Right. Yeah, that's a good place to start, Gavin. So I'm originally from India, and I was born into a business family. So I grew up watching my father and my family do business. So it's essentially a part of who I am. It's in my blood. But when I was about 14, I also came to a realization, and the realization was that often a lot of people achieve that success that they want, but they lose their happiness and their health and their relationships along the way, right? So we chase this thing called happiness, chase this thing called success, and along the way, we lose the most valuable thing called happiness. So I decided that's not how I wanted to live. I wanted to grow up and I wanted to be successful, but I also wanted to have that happiness and that sense of fulfillment inside. So I came up with this question in my mind, which was that what's the best use of my life, right? What's the purpose of my life? I mean, why am I here? And come to think of it, Gavin, wherever we arrive, we always arrive with a purpose. Look at this moment now. You are interviewing me on this wonderful show that you have, and I know you're doing great things. So congratulations for everything you're doing. And I know you are like an expert at your field. So I'm so happy to be here. But in this moment that we are here with purpose. Something happened to create this moment. There was intention behind this moment. And some purpose brought us here. And the purpose was to share the deepest wisdom of life, of business, of relationships with all our viewers. So every place that we arrive at with purpose. So my question was to myself when I was 14 that I've arrived here in this life, but what's the purpose of me arriving here? What's the best use of my life? What should I do with it? And I knew even at that time that just earning money is not the purpose of our life. I mean, you can't expect 8.5 billion people are here just to earn money, right? So I began to look for that deeper answer. And that took me on a journey for 15 years. So from the age of 14 till 29, I was searching and looking for the masters of wisdom, the enlightened people of this world, men and women. I searched them out and I was on this quest to get the wisdom and the truth of life. And at the age of 29, I did. I had my inner awakening. I had my epiphany moment and I woke up and I saw the purpose of my life, which was to share wisdom, to enlighten and empower the world to be the best that it can be. So at 29, I was the CEO of the family business that my father had started. It was a multi-million-dollar business. I was the managing director. In India, that's the title you give. So it's like a CEO. And I decided that I wanted to quit because this was not the purpose of my life. I had seen the blueprint of what I was here for, and I wanted to fulfill my life purpose, which was to teach the world, to coach the world with wisdom on how to be successful on the outside, but spiritual on the inside. That's my formula. If you want to be the best you can be, it's about being spiritual on the inside and being successful on the outside. So I walked away essentially from that role of being a CEO. I walked away from that family business and I started my new life with less than $1,000 in my bank account. And that's my story. So Soul Center, which is my company, started with less than $1,000 in backup reserve funds. And today, we are represented in more than 16 countries of the world by the teachers and the coaches and the Soul Kids mentors and coaches that we have trained and certified. So that's my story in short. There we go.
Wow, guys. I mean, it's not often that you hear a story from someone who had it all, gave it all up, and to search for a better life by fulfilling his purpose, by doing something else. I think that's something that really many of us could really learn from, right? How many of us, like if I ask you guys right now who are watching, we have close to 25 of you are watching right now, would give up everything that you had previously? I mean, Vikas was geared for success. He's the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. He could have just left if, continued living his life, but he chose to seek out a higher calling, a higher purpose, right? So my question to you guys right now is this, right? Like the comment that I had below. What is your purpose, guys? What is your purpose? And I think I want this session to be as interactive as possible because I think that is a very amazing opportunity that we have with us right now, where we actually have the wisdom coach live with us. And if you are going to be able to get the most out of this session, it's not just about hearing his inspiring story. It's not just about hearing Vikas speak, but what can Vikas provide to you in value by interacting with you in this very limited live session. We don't have a lot of time, truly, right? So if you could interact with us, comment down below, let us know what is your purpose so that Vikas will be able to see those comments and he will be able to add so much more value in context to what you're saying. So guys, interact with us, comment down below, what is your purpose, and let us know. Okay? So Vikas, I mean, obviously for me, I've heard that story before, and every single time I hear it, I'm having all my hairs are like standing up, and I can't believe that anyone would actually do that. But you came over here and you actually went to fulfill your purpose or higher calling. But I mean, in recent months, the world has been changed largely by a very new pandemic, right? In this recent time, things are just so different. And if you were to ask somebody, hey, what is your purpose in these times of in these challenging times? I believe many of us will find that it's very difficult for us to even think about a purpose where we have to think about surviving. Now, what's your take on that? How can we move forward with wisdom?
Yeah. So here's the wisdom, right? So I want to define what wisdom is first of all, because everyone talks about wisdom and it's not clearly defined. Wisdom is the highest way of thinking. So talk about wisdom as the fuel for your mind, because everything in your life starts with your mind. Your mindset is the beginning of your success. Your mindset is the beginning of your happiness. Your mindset is the beginning of your greatness. But what does the mind run on? It runs on wisdom. So wisdom is like fuel for the mind. It's like food for the mind. So it's the highest way of thinking. Now, here's the thing. The COVID-19 can be thought of like a war because it came on us. It's an enemy that's attacking us. It's an invisible, silent enemy, which we can't even see, right? I mean, it just comes in and it literally kills people. It destroys families. It destroys companies and incomes. But when you're in a war, what is the mindset that you have as you're fighting a war? One mindset is, I need to survive. I just need to survive this war. Now, that's fairly good. It's all right to survive, but I say there's a higher mindset. You don't fight the war to survive the war. You fight the war to win the war. And that's the mindset of wisdom. We are not in survival mode. For everyone who tells me I'm in survival mode, how do I survive? I say the first thing you need to change is your mindset. Because if you're just thinking of surviving the war, you'll never win. We need to win this war. And what does that mean? It means that we become better human beings. We run better businesses. We have deeper relationships. We become more significant for the world. So give up this survival mindset. This is my role. My role is to get people to think in a way that they themselves don't think is possible. That's the role of a coach. A coach gives you strategies that you can't figure out by yourself. So we don't survive this war. We win this war. And when we have that mindset of how can I become a better human being? How can I take my business to the next level of efficiency? How can I become more significant by the work that I do or the products that I create? With that winning mindset, you live a completely different way of life. Because here's another great truth. Our beliefs drive our behaviors. So how I behave depends on what I believe inside. If I believe I'm here just to survive, that will drive my behavior. But if I believe I'm here to win, then my behavior comes from that belief. So it's all about managing your mindset right at the beginning. I want everyone today listening to me is this, that we are not here to survive. We are here to win, which means we are here to become better human beings, run better companies, become more significant for ourselves, those we love, and the world in general.
I see. Wow. Guys, pure wisdom right there. Straight from the world's number one wisdom coach, right? And I feel that, every single time when I speak to Vikas, it just gets you so inspired. But it's not just about being inspired. It's about knowing what you need to do in order for you to win, right? It's about knowing what you need to do to move ahead in better. And that was just incredible, guys, because like many people that I've spoken to during these challenging times, and they were just like, oh my God, I just wish that I can get through this. I just want to be able to get past this difficult period. But what you just heard right there is the strategy, right? It's the wisdom of how you could really not only just survive this pandemic, but win in this pandemic, right? In all businesses that we are doing right now, you should not be just thinking about, oh, I just want to get through it. What can you do? How else can you do in order for you to win, right? That is why for those businesses that has wisdom, they are actually striving right now. They are striving. They are not just surviving. They are striving even at times of pandemic. So guys, I think that's a huge mindset shift that many of us is really need to hear, and I'm very grateful that Vikas is here to be sharing this amazing wisdom with us. And we have 30 of you watching right now. That's so amazing, right? That's so amazing. And I would like to say hi to those people who just tune in. There's Regina, Fashit, Agatha, Veron, Najas, and Agatha again. So many people are watching right now, and Agatha actually just said, yeah, that's an aha moment, right? We fight to win and not just to survive. That's really such a huge aha moment. And actually, Sally has a question, right? So I just had to bring that up as well. So Sally actually has a question that says, she would like to ask, so Vikas, right? Like we said, it's challenging, right? And the mindset that we need is not to just survive, but it's to win. But how can we be inspired in times like this, when we see all is doom and gloom every single media that you turn to is always about sharing all the doom and gloom, all the sad stories, all the horrific stories that we are hearing. Those are really terrible. We pray for everybody to be better. But how can we stay inspired in times like this?
Okay. So that's a really good question, and it's a very simple question. Turn off your media, because I don't call it media, I call it madia. It's mad-ya, okay? It's not media, it's madia, because the media is a business. Please understand, media is a business, and business is all about sales and profits. And negative news sells more than positive news. So they're not going to tell you that today, 3,000 people did not die. They're going to tell you, 300 people died, right? Do you see the difference there? So the negative is what's always going to be highlighted, and it's always going to be blown up, literally, right? So the media is something that you must control. You must control your input of that media. That's number one. But the second thing is you need to connect with people who are positive. So you always have a choice about who you connect to, who you interact with, who you work with. And this period of time, and believe me when I say this, that the challenge is not over yet. In Singapore, we are sitting here, we are very blessed. The government is very disciplined, very clear. The people are very clear, very disciplined. They work with ethics, they work with principles. So we have come out of that first wave, but chances are there is a second wave still on the way. And in other countries, you can see that the second wave is already arrived. And then perhaps even the third wave is coming. There are countries who are now experiencing a third wave. So I want people to know this challenge is not over yet. While we go through this challenge for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you need to make sure that you are connected with positive people. So you should not stay in touch with the fear mongers. You should not stay in touch with all the naysayers. You should not stay in touch with the people who are propagating fear. Because please listen to me. And every time you have a aha or a wow, I want you to write a aha or a wow in your comments, okay? Because I'm here to wake you up. So every time I say something which is a aha or a wow, please let us know that it is impacting you, that is getting through. So I want everyone to understand this. Don't keep in touch with the naysayers. Don't keep in touch with the fear mongers. Don't keep in touch with people who are always trying to pull you down. Because fear is the currency of control. Anyone who's putting you in fear is trying to control you and is trying to manipulate you and is trying to dominate you in one way or another. So if you want to go through this war and win it, the first person you need to win is yourself, which means your mindset. And if you're surrounded by people who are negative, who are fear-mongering, who are always talking about everything that will go wrong, then you are not doing this for yourself. You're not winning over yourself. So fear is the currency of control, and you need to be free, not in control of other people. So choose the people you stay in touch with. Make sure they are positive, they are peaceful, they are progressive people. And also you want to limit your intake of media, right? Media. You want to limit your intake of media. And you must have some purpose driving you forward. So that's a 3-step formula I'm giving you. Number 1, limit your intake. Number 2, bring in positive people and relationships. Number 3, you need to have a purpose, an objective, a goal, a passion that you must follow. Now, whatever it may be, but you must move forward towards that direction. A life without direction becomes a stagnant life, and a mind without direction becomes an idle mind. It becomes a distracted mind. So you need to have some direction guiding you every day. When you wake up in the morning, what is giving you direction? For example, when I wake up in the morning, I think of all the clients and the people I'm coaching around the world. I think about how I can help them more, who needs me more today, how I can add value to them. So I'm totally committed to serving the people who are in my circles of students. What drives you? Something must drive you every morning. Because if you're getting up and your life is taken up with just the mundane, if it's just taken up with the routine, or if you get up in the morning and your mind says, oh, well, what should I do today? How should I spend my time today? Oh, let me check on Netflix what's playing today. Then you don't have direction, you don't have a passion, you don't have a purpose, you have nothing guiding you, you're getting stagnant. So 3-step strategy. Number 1, control your intake. Number 2, make sure that you connect with positive people, get positive coaches, get people who are not living in fear, people who are positive, peaceful, and powerful, who are progressive. And number 3, you must have a mission to drive you forward. And we can win this war. I guarantee it, we can win. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to win it. That should be your mantra every morning. Get up and say, I'm in it to win it. Forget about the survival mode. Look, you have a choice. You can either go through it or you can grow through it. What's your choice? You can go through it or you can grow through it. Definitely, you're going to experience it. So what do? Make a choice. Go through it or grow through it. I'm in it to win it. You need to come out on top of this, and it begins with your mindset.
Wow, guys, again, amazing. The 3 big tips that Vikas has just shared. If you guys think this is a huge moment for you and you got a lot of amazing insights, I want every one of you to type aha right in the comment section right now. It's over this side, right? Over this side. Yeah, I have the point correctly. And aha, right down there. All right. Type aha right down there, and it's super amazing. I want you guys to spam the, now there's so many different emoticons, right? Just spam the one with the care, right? The one with the care. And by the way, this is not media, okay? The one that you're watching right now, this is not media, right? This is not media. This is the good deal, okay? This is the good deal. You need to be listening to my channel more.
Yeah. Gavin, I was going to suggest a 4th strategy. So if the first 3 don't work, the 4th strategy is very simple. You just stay in touch with Vikas and Gavin and you'll be fine.
Absolutely right, guys. So stay in touch with Vikas, stay in touch with Gavin. If you want to connect with me, add me as a friend. You can find me at my hashtag #HeyGavinSim, all right, at Vikas Malkani, at Vikas Malkani, and we'll be happy to connect with you because we are positive people. We wake up every single day. We don't take in rubbish, so we are everything that comes out is good, right? We connect with us, positive people, and we have a mission, right? The reason why Vikas and I are now connected on this particular live is definitely because we have a purpose, we have a mission. We want to leave a good and lasting impact for people, right? For me, it's more towards marketing, how I can help businesses grow. And for Vikas, it's about impacting people in the world with wisdom, right? So we have a mission. We are so driven every single day. That is why even at this point of time, we are still so energetic. We are full of energy. We are so enthusiastic to share this with you. And wow, this is super amazing. And I can see so many of you who are typing aha right now, right? I see Regina went wow. Elena went a mission to drive us forward. Wow, wow, wow. Sally, wow. Farish, wow. Aha, Ili, aha. Regina, aha. I can keep go on and on. Joe is here as well. Aha. Right, so it's super, super amazing, right? I love the interaction, guys. So keep it coming. Spam the care button for me. I like it makes us feel good, okay? It makes us feel good to see the thing going up, right? It makes us feel good that we know that you guys are getting value from it. Okay, so Vikas, thank you very much for this sharing already. I mean, guys, we are just 26 minutes into this live, and you guys have really gotten so much golden nuggets, right? We have more coming up, so make sure you stay with us all the way to the very end, okay? So Sammy actually have a question as well. It's pretty long. I'm just going to put it up so that we can take a look at what the question is. Right, Sammy is actually talking about, the current situation is terrible to some, but it's not affecting at all except movement and no other way. Should there be some bridging among these groups to help people? And perhaps how can we do this practically? So perhaps if I were to allow to rephrase this question, I think it's like, now the pandemic right now today have affected people at all levels of life, right? And there's going to be people who are perhaps able to take it better due to financial positioning, or perhaps just by the fact that we are in Singapore, for example, we are less affected. But there are going to be people who are really suffering a little bit more worse off than us. Now, is there any wisdom that we can apply to see what we could do, especially for us in the position that we could do so, to help out these people? Because
thank you. Yeah. Hi, Sammy. Good to see you here. And Sammy is from Sweden, if I'm right. So, Gavin, you've got an international show today. You have people all over the world watching you. So, hi, Sammy. And great question there. So, yes, it's true that this COVID threat, this COVID experience is impacting people at different levels. Yes, there should be some sort of a way that the people who are being impacted massively should be benefited also, should be given opportunities. But understand this, right? For all of us, we need to understand the best we can do is to provide opportunities for people to change their life. That's the best we can do. Provide opportunities for people to get themselves out of the hole, to raise themselves, to elevate themselves out of their suffering. But as the saying goes, you can take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So if our life is at a good stage, if our life has not been impacted very negatively, then all of us should offer an opportunity for people who have been impacted to grow themselves, to get their lives elevated. But finally, remember, changing a person's life, transforming a person's life is always their own responsibility. We are responsible for our own life and our own growth. So our task, and even the task of the government, and I'm making a big statement here, but every government just needs to provide opportunities for people to elevate themselves. And then it's up to the people to get themselves rising higher, to get their businesses, more significant and more efficient, to get their businesses and their lives future ready. As I said earlier, this COVID came unannounced. It came completely as a setback for people. So businesses were impacted, relationships were impacted, lives were impacted. We are all aware of this. But the choice we have is not that the COVID showed up or that it's here now. That's not in our frame of choice. What's in our frame of choice is how I respond to it. And my response, let me give you what the options are. My response are only a few. One option is I resist this. I fight with it. I say, why is it here? It should never have happened. And I blame people for it. When I fight with something, I go into the blaming mindset because I need a reason to fight with. I need someone to fight with. So I need someone to blame. So I fight with it. I resist it. That's the first option. The second option is I react to it. A reaction option is where I go in with the crowd. I go in with what everybody else is doing. So I look at the media and I listen to what they say and I just become like everybody else. This is called the mob mentality. If you've been watching the news, if you've been reading the newspapers, you know what's happening. People are out on the streets protesting, burning cars, killing innocent people. So this is a reaction that is happening because people don't want to handle what the truth is. Also not good. So to resist is not good. To react is not good. The third response, the response comes from a place of wisdom. And that's the third option, the response. It comes from a place of wisdom. And wisdom says, is this a setback for me? Or is this an opportunity for a step up? And I tell everyone, all my clients, all my students, all the businesses and CEOs I coach, that don't take this as a setback. You need to take this setback as an opportunity for a step up. You need to see how you can leverage this, how you can make this better to make your business more efficient, to make your life more significant, and to make yourself have a better, a greater experience of life. So yes, we can offer opportunities as the government does, as many of us do, but then it's always up to the people to take that and to get themselves elevated, to raise themselves to a higher level.
Wow, guys, right? If you guys find it extremely powerful and you all feel that you guys are in control, right? I want you all to type control down in the comment section below. Type control down in the comment section below. And I feel that really I have to totally agree again with the wisdom coach. It just blows my mind, right? And we hear so many people today and they are blaming everything that they can, right? They're blaming their circumstances, they are blaming the government, they are blaming but they blame everything except for themselves. But the thing is this, right? We all had control over what actions we take, right? There's many things that we can't control, granted, right? But you can definitely control what you do. What's your reaction, right? What do you do? And I feel in terms of the business perspective or the business side of it, I think Vikas has covered something that is truly amazing, right? Because in Chinese we have this thing called 危机, right? It makes up of two words, right? It means danger and opportunity, right? That's typically if you look at it singularly. But I think the lesson across that we can learn from that is that in every crisis lies extreme opportunity. And for people who are able to get through this current crisis, right, they will come out so much better because they are able to pivot, they're able to move themselves forward with wisdom because they know that they can't, well, there are many things that they can't control. They can definitely control how they react to the crisis. And how they react determines on how successful they're going to walk out of this crisis from. Those that's supreme wisdom right there. Again by Vikas. That's amazing, Vikas. I mean, thank you very much for sharing all this thing with us. On behalf of every one of us who is watching this right now, I just like to say, you guys are getting so much from this, right? So Vikas, I think the curious thing is this right now. We are all talking about having control and moving out of this current crisis with wisdom, right? But we would like to look at the future as well. So we are done reacting to this, right? What is the wisdom for us to be able to look at what's going to happen in the future so that we can get ourselves ready right now to prepare for the inevitable future that's going to come? What will be your take to that?
Wow, this is a very, very good question, Gavin, because you have asked me literally to define what the future will be, and this is something that I do for my private inner circle coaching clients. And so it's a very exclusive, it's something very, very powerful. But let me give everyone today a few tips, right, on what's coming and how we can get ready to be ready for this future that's arriving soon. The first thing is, remember that, the life we had earlier, the world that was earlier before COVID is gone forever. So if anyone's still out there waiting for good old times to come back, let me tell you, you need to move forward. You need to stop looking at the past and you need to start looking at the future. And the future is going to be a different world altogether. A few tips for everyone out there. Number one, it's going to be a much more competitive world. No matter what business you are in, it's going to be a much more competitive world. And why is that? Well, it's because the world is more digital now than it was 6 months ago. What has happened in the last 6 months has literally been like a digital revolution. Companies have gone digital. We have gone digital. Grandmothers and grandfathers have gone digital, and young kids have gone digital. Education has gone digital. Shopping, eating, drinking, everything has gone digital. And what that means is the world is your playground, but the world is also your competition. Understand this today, that you need to get ready for the future that's coming. Don't just slide into it. Don't just sort of float into it. You need to prepare yourself for the world that's coming, because it's going to be a world where there's going to be global competition, but it's also going to be global opportunity. Look at what we are doing here today, Gavin. 6 months ago, 6 months before COVID, we wouldn't be doing this digitally. And you wouldn't have people from 20 different countries watching this show. So we need to get ready for a world where there's global opportunity, but there's also global competition. And at the same time, you need to get ready for a world where things move very fast. So if you come up with a new idea today, it's not going to be 6 months before somebody replicates that idea. It is going to be 6 weeks. Again, because the technology is rising much, much more. It's also going to be a world where you have to play with different dynamics. You see, I coach people on all different levels. So they're CEOs, they're business owners, but there's also political leaders. There's also sports champions that I coach, right? So different levels. So you have to understand that countries are going to become more insular. Insular means they're going to be looking within, not outside. So supply chains are going to change. Global demand patterns are going to change, and companies and countries are now going to start looking inwards much more. So again, that has an impact on people. If you have a job, it will definitely be impacted. Especially if you're working in a country, maybe perhaps which is not your country of origin, you might be impacted. So you need to be ready. So here's what I tell people. I like to give people strategies. I like to give people steps to follow. For the future that's coming, you need to follow certain steps. Please remember what I say here. Don't just float into it. Don't just wait your way into the future, right? A lot of people are doing this. They're just waiting, and then they think, oh, everything will be all right, or at least, the government will take care, and by next year, we should be all right. My job will be okay. I'll be back to my job. So don't float into your future, and don't wait your way into your future. You literally need to create your future by choice. You need to create and work on yourself to make that future happen. So the first thing you need to understand is you are your best asset. Okay, I want you to write this down, everyone. You are your best asset. And you need to grow this asset. How do you grow this asset? You use this time to expand your mind. And that's where wisdom comes in. Because what is wisdom? Wisdom is fuel, food for the mind. Wisdom is the fertilizer for the mind. So the first thing you need to understand is you are your best asset, and you need to expand your mind. You need to grow your mind. It also means that you need to build relationships. So this is the time to invest in relationships. So invest in yourself, invest in relationships. What do I mean when I say invest in relationships? Invest in relationships that make you grow. They don't make you slow. Because a lot of people are stuck in relationships that make them slow. They're carrying dead weight. They're carrying extra baggage. They're working with people who are not working with them. So we need to invest in personal relationships, professional relationships, which make us grow, don't make us slow. That's the second tip. And the third tip is we all need to learn skills that will pay the bills. Again, I repeat, number one, you are your best asset. Invest in yourself, grow your mind with wisdom. Number two, you need to invest in good relationships, positive professional relationships and personal relationships. And number three, you need to acquire skills that will pay your bills. Now, I'll tell you something very interesting, okay, Gavin?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm more busy than I ever was because people have realized the value of wisdom. They always did, but now more and more people are needing the wisdom to keep their life stable, to keep their emotions in balance, to keep their relationships together, and to keep themselves positive, right? So more and more people are needing wisdom. I'm very busy. But at the same time, I need a person who has the skills which can help me digitally. So I'm on the lookout for someone who can be my digital PA, my digital and my personal PA, right? And if there's somebody like that, you know what? I'll pay for those skills. So my point is this: do you have any skills that are valuable to others? It doesn't have to be just a digital skill. Do you have communication skills? Do you have any sort of organization skills? Do you have marketing skills? Do you have sales skills? What do you have that people will pay for? And it can be anything. I know of people who have taken the ability to make sourdough bread and taught it to hundreds of other people during this COVID crisis. You know what? They have a skill. What is the skill? Learning how to make good bread. And they have made an income out of it. You follow me? So we all need to grow ourselves in our mind, in our relationships, and in our skills. Skills to pay the bills, because the bills will also be there after COVID-19 goes away. So that's what the future is going to bring. There will still be bills, and we need to get ready for our business, for our lives to be better. Play it to win it. Don't play it to survive this game, right? You are in it to win it. We are not here with a survival mentality. Give that up. Give that up. We are here with a winner's mentality. We are here with a champion's mentality. A champion doesn't go into the field to play the game only, survive. No, a champion goes in to win. We need to come out of this as better human beings, running better companies, better leaders. That's how you should be thinking.
Wow, amazing. And we have many people who are commenting right now, like Sally, Agatha, and Sally is actually, I would say you are the PA, right? But you are the mastermind behind Mr. Wisdom, right? We have Basit here, we have Evergani who say again, skills to pay the bill, and Agatha who actually summarized everything like this. And I think it's very amazing, right? So I'm going to go on a limb out here to say this while we are on live. So I obviously it's not edited or something like this, but you can go out there and be an arse, okay? A-R-S-E. Okay, let me explain that, okay? I just came up with this, so pun intended, just to make it a little bit easier for us to remember it. But number one is A. A is the asset, right? And who is the best asset? Everyone, right? You are your best asset, right? So that's A. And number two, you need to invest in relationships. So that's R, right? Invest in the relationship that will help you grow and not make you slow. I love that. That just rhymes so well, right? That makes you grow and not make you slow, right? So that's amazing. A, R, and then S, right? You need to acquire skills, right? Skills that's going to pay your bills, right? Everything rhymes right now, right? You need to acquire skills that pays your bills so that you can be E, so that you can be exceptional, right? You're coming out to win. Right? We are coming out here not to survive. We are coming out here to win. So remember, B-N, beep. We can't say the name, but A-R-S-E, okay? Right? Assets, relationships, skills, so that you'll be exceptional. So that's amazing. I hope you guys love it so far. I'm absolutely loving it. I want you guys to type A-R-S-E down in the comment section, but I think we should not do that in case later Facebook start looking at the chat and like, hey, what is this guy doing? And he start banning this live. So don't need to type A-R-S. You can type A-R-S, but don't type E, all right? A-R-S.
Yeah, I just want to make clear that acronym came from Gavin and not from me. Gavin, maybe I should coach you a little bit on how to create massive, amazing branding acronyms.
I'm sure we remember that. It's just like, I used to listen to this acronym as well. Like, if I would say, like, if you're all to do, but I think a lot of this actually is BS, right? We are listening to so much BS every single day, right? What does BS stands for, right? Many of you would think that BS. So guys, I want to ask you all, what does BS stand for? Here, type in the comment section and let me know, right? But the BS that I'm saying right now doesn't mean the one that I think you and I are thinking right now. But actually, BS, what I meant was belief systems, right? The belief systems that we need is absolutely the wisdom that Vikas has just shared with us, right? I mean, it's a funny acronym, right? But I think the point is this. I think what wisdom is, what Vikas has just shared with us, the wisdom, right, about understanding the world, is going to be, we are all so connected right away. I absolutely agree with Vikas, right? The whole pandemic right now has actually accelerated the progress of how digital has cascaded down to every single one of us, right? I mean, 6 months ago, if I were to teach elderly on how to use Zoom, it's going to be a struggle, right? And they're going to resist it so much. But now, every single one of the seniors that I know already know how to use Zoom, and they are loving it as well, right? So I think the pandemic has really accelerated the progress for us to be able to really push through this. And with that comes its advantages where now we have full access to the world. Previously, you might not have realized that we already had it, but right now, everyone knows that we have access to the world. But with that comes the other side of it, which is the competition as well, because now everyone have access to everyone, right? And that also comes with the competition. But how do you then control that? How do you come up with a better mentality to win, right? And that is what Vikas shared to us as well, right? You need to understand that you are the best asset. You need to build strong, good professional relationship to help you grow, not to make you slow, right? And you need to have the skill set that's going to pay the bills. And once you have those, it's going to be amazing. You're going to be exceptional, right? So again, very, very great wisdom there. And I hope you guys are loving it. If you guys are loving it, can you guys do me a favor? Type down in the comment section, say that you guys are loving it. Spam some emojis that you would like to spam. It can be the love, like, or the care emoji, anything that you want. And also, guys, don't forget to share this out, because many more people out there need to listen to Vikas. They need to understand all this wisdom so that they can help in their life, in their business. And for those of you who may be watching this on YouTube, remember to give it a thumbs up, click on the subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified of future videos of this like this as well. Okay, and before we carry on with the interview, I'd like to also let you guys know that you guys are free to ask any questions at this point of time to Vikas as well. Okay, we are reading all the comments. We are actually able to see the things that you guys are typing. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it in so that we can bring it onto the screen, and Vikas could actually give you a direct answer. This is one of the rare opportunities you could do that. And like what Vikas has said earlier, the strategies that he just shared, the mindset that he just shared was actually something that he does only in his top tier private coachings that he do for his top tier clients, right? So this is a very rare opportunity that he could share this on the public forum. So if you want more good stuff, you have to interact, you have to ask us those questions, okay? So, and we have it already. In fact, I know that Farid is actually one of your clients as well, right? And Farid actually have this question for us. Just now we talked about having professional relationships, and in order for us to have that, it's also very important to have very good and effective communications, right? So great question, Farid. I love it. In fact, that's something I wanted to ask as well. So Vikas, what's your take? What's the wisdom behind having effective communications?
Yeah, great question. And, go ahead, everyone. Please ask questions if you have any questions about your life, about your business, about your income, about your relationships, about your human potential, from spirituality to success to significance. I'm here to give you answers to all your problems, your challenges, your obstacles. Because let me tell you, whatever the question, wisdom is the answer. So you got me now. Ask or go away, go wild and ask as many questions as you want, and I'll give you free wow coaching. Because what is wow coaching? The wow coaching is the way of wisdom. That's the name for my coaching methodology, the wow coaching, because it brings wow into your life, wow into your relationships, wow into your business. So go ahead. Farshid, great question. How do you have effective communication? Very simple. You have to stop thinking of yourself and you have to start thinking of the person you're speaking to. Let me explain what I mean here. Let's say that I'm trying to communicate the greatest, deepest wisdom of life, but I'm doing it to a 7-year-old child. Now, if I'm trying to think with my mindset and I'm using words that I am comfortable with, that I normally use, and I'm thinking of how best from my mind, how I can give this child a message, I'm going to fail. What I need to think is, what is the child's mindset and what will the child be able to absorb? What words will make sense to the child? And what messages is the child able to receive and absorb and hold? In other words, I have to stop thinking with my mind and I have to start thinking with the mind of the person I'm communicating with. And then I will be an effective communicator. There's nothing greater than this wisdom on communication. Speak to the mind of the person you're communicating with. It can also be understood in another way. You speak in a language that the person understands. So if I'm a 50-year-old man, extremely wise, and I'm trying to communicate to a 7-year-old child, I need to communicate with a 7-year-old vocabulary, with 7-year-old words, with 7-year-old sentences, very short, very simple. And that is the skill of effective communication. You speak from the mind and to the minds of the people you're communicating with. Very simple.
Wow. Farid, did that answer your question to me? I think that is an absolutely fantastic answer. So if Vikas was able to really bring that across to you, can you just type awesome or good in the comment section and let us know? And this is something that I love hearing from Vikas, because I feel that even at what I'm doing right now, I fall into this trap pretty often as well, because I'm a marketing coach. I teach digital marketing. I do it for my clients as well. And sometimes we go into the pitch or we go into a training and we use all these jargons, all these industry terms that people don't understand. But to us, it's normal, it's common, right? And I could easily understand it. But if I were to communicate effectively with somebody else, then I have to think from their point of view. If I use those technical jargons, they wouldn't be able to understand it, right? So it's really very important to put yourself, I think like what Vikas was saying, to put yourself in the mind of the person that you're talking to, right? Speak in a language that they are acquainted to, and that is how you really become an effective communicator. Amazing question. I loved it. I love the answer as well. That's super amazing. And Farid said, that's is super awesome. Thank you very much. And we do have a few other questions, right? So guys, keep it coming, right? I'm loving this. I love the questions that you guys are posting on. So we have the next question that comes from Millie, right? I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but we have this question coming from Millie. And Millie had this question: what is most important in life? Wealth, health, or relationship? Wow, that's a question. So I'm going to put it out here for the wisdom coach to share his opinion and view.
That's an excellent question. And I think it's a question that we all need to ask ourselves. Because, for most of us, we live life for the wrong reasons. We live life driven by the wrong goals. Just look at your own life and you'll realize that this is what happens. By the time that we are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, we are literally already programmed with what our life should be. Somebody else has told us, they've conditioned us into what a good life means. What does it mean to be successful and what my life is all about? So from the time that we start going to school and we start understanding, we start comprehending, we are told that you have to get educated, you have to get a job, you have to earn good income, you have to find a partner, you have to have children, you have to start a family, you have to buy things, you have to travel the world, and then you have to grow old and you have to die. I mean, essentially, that's the programming of the whole world. But if you just follow this programming, then remember that you are a conditioned animal. There was an experiment done by Dr. Pavlov. And Dr. Pavlov, I believe his name was Ivan Pavlov, if I'm not mistaken. But Dr. Pavlov trained dogs. He conditioned dogs to produce different results. So essentially, when he rang a bell, the dog started to salivate. And that actually showed to him that he can condition how people's bodies and minds respond. And the reason I'm saying this to you was that it is actually a proven fact that when humans start to believe a certain idea, their entire lifestyle, their entire thinking, their entire behavior will follow that one belief. So let me give everybody a very big line here. Pay attention to this, write this down, okay? Your life will never be bigger than your beliefs allow. So literally, your beliefs are the borders that limit your life experience. Your life will never be bigger than your beliefs allow. So if I start living at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10 with a belief that this is my lifestyle, I need to grow up, get educated, get a job, earn money, have a family, and grow old and die, my life will never be bigger than that. And then I'm living just like that conditioned dog in Dr. Pavlov's story. To live a bigger life, you need to have a bigger belief. Beliefs drive behaviors, and behaviors will create your life results. So I love this question. What is most important? Let me tell you, all the things you mentioned here are important. But which is the most important thing? So I would say, okay, in my wisdom, the most important thing is your health. Everyone needs to take care of their health. Now, when I say take care of your health, I don't mean you need to go out and work 5 days a week, 7 days a week, go for workouts and build yourself a six-pack and big muscles. And if you like that, that's fine. No problem with that. But I mean health as in the fact that you're just in a state of wellness. You're in a state of good fitness, health, so that you can enjoy life. Number one is health. If you don't have health, you can't enjoy pretty much anything else. But the second thing after health is all about the people you surround yourself with. So I would say relationships are very, very important, because relationships are the experiences you have in and out, day in, day out, every day of your life. You know, one of the greatest blessings is to have a good partner to spend your life with. One of the greatest curses is to have the wrong partner to spend your life with. So relationships are very important because relationships build internal assets. Listen to that one again. Relationships build internal assets. So when I'm in a good, happy relationship, it gives me a sense of fulfillment, of feeling loved, of high self-esteem. Now, what does wealth build? So wealth is the third element. Wealth is also important. Wealth is also important because wealth allows me to live a good life. It gives me the choices. It gives me the freedom. So all money is a means. Please understand, all money is a means. It's a means to an end. But what is the end? What is the purpose of money? The purpose of money is to live a good life. And what is a good life? A good life is a life of happiness and harmony and, you know, that inner fulfillment of yourself. It's about being the highest expression of yourself. And money is meant only for one purpose. It is meant to be used. Otherwise, tell me, what is the purpose of money? There's no other purpose of wealth. The only purpose of wealth is meant to be used. Now, whether you use it to buy a Ferrari or to buy a house or to buy an education program that will elevate your life and your relationships and your future to the next level, that's a choice you make. But money is just a means. So all are important in my wisdom, in my mindset. Number one is health. Number two is the people you surround yourself with, which will be relationships. And number three is the wealth. But most important of all of this is wisdom, because wisdom is the root of your foundation of your life. Wisdom is everything in your life. So wisdom is what makes everything else work. So get wisdom, everything else will follow. Get wisdom, health, wealth, relationships, success, significance, legacy, everything will follow. Get wisdom first, everything else will follow. Thank you. I love that question.
All right, that's amazing, Al. I hope that answered your question. So again, I think like what Vikas was saying, to just sum it up, like wisdom is really the foundation of everything else that we get in life. But in Vikas' wisdom, I think if he has to rank like wealth, health, and relationship, he'll rank it as health, relationship, and then followed by wealth, which is actually a means to the other ends that you are actually striving towards, right? So I hope that answered your question, and I believe it absolutely did. And you did mention that, yeah. So thank you very much for your wisdom. And Alwina also, like, she loves wisdom so much as well. And there are a few more questions, so I'm going to move on to the other one.
Okay.
Serena actually asked this, right? I think maybe we need more clarification on this as well. I'm not sure if you need more, Vikas, but Serena's question was, how can we have more authority? I'm not very clear as to authority over what or on something. So I'm not sure how would you like to approach this. So Serena, if you could clarify your question a little bit more, I think that would be a little bit helpful. So you can type down in the comment section so that we could answer it better for you. But on this topic, on authority, right? Do you agree, Vikas, that having authority, right, requires wisdom? Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think authority is a very big thing. And I think, Serena, you have just inspired me to share with you something that I use in my own life. All right. So this is a formula I have never revealed before. but I want to share it with all the people who are watching this show today. One of my principles of life is always to give more value than I'm expected to. So I always over deliver. This is what I'm known for. All my students and clients around the world for 20 years know I always will over deliver on what I promise. So today I'm going to share with everybody something very unexpected. I'm going to share a personal formula that guides me. Okay, it's a 3-step formula. I love the number 3. I love the wisdom. This is a personal formula that I use in my life. It's the secret of my success. It's the secret of everything that I've created. And it has 3 elements. It is called the 3A formula. The 3A formula. The first A. And when I give you this formula, Serena, you will also have your answer, because you're asking me how to be a better leader, how to have more authority in leadership. Okay. So the first A is about authority. That's the first A. This is my personal formula, authority. Now understand that authority begins with the word author. Okay, if you look at the word authority, it begins with the word author. So what does it mean to be an author or to be an authority? It means that you design your life, you design your future, you design your destiny. You literally write the story of your own life by yourself. You choose. You choose who you want to be, you choose where you want to work, you choose what life you want to create. So it's about getting free from conditioning. As I told you, today, if you listen to the world, everyone's talking about surviving, 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 surviving. And that is like the sheep. Everyone is just talking about surviving. You know, it's like the sheep mentality. Because we hear it, we say it. And I'm here to change your mind. I'm here to elevate you. I'm here to give you that paradigm shift. Stop thinking survival. As an author, you want to think, how do I win this war? How do I win this game? So authority means getting free from conditioning, getting free from that external noise, and listening to your inner voice. To be an author of the story of your own life, coming from a place of authority on the inside. But listen now, the second A. Where does authority come from? The second A is it comes from authenticity. Authenticity. The second A is authenticity. So when I decide to design my life, my relationship, my career, my work, my business, my income, my results, it must come from a place of authenticity. It must not be just what my parents tell me to do. It must not be just what my culture tells me to do. It must not be what the world expects of me. It must not be just what will keep my tribe happy. It must come from a place of authenticity. Look at my life story. All right, my culture, my community, even my family. Their expectation was that he will just run the family business and make it grow. But my inner voice was telling me that you need to change the world, not run one company. You need to go out and impact and elevate the world. What is my life goal today? Because I listen to my inner voice, my life mission, my life purpose is to empower, elevate, and enlighten the world. That's it. Empower, elevate, and enlighten the world. That's what I do every day of my life. That's what I do with every person I coach, every business I coach, every leader I coach. So your authority to write your life story must come from a place of authenticity. It must really be about you. And to find our authenticity, sometimes we need some coaching. Okay, because we are so conditioned that we don't know a better way. One time a client came to me. This is a very interesting story, so I just want to quickly share it. Yeah. And this client said that I don't know how to find my dreams. I said, well, tell me, what do you like? And this client said, well, I've never really thought about what I've liked. I said, well, what do you think about then? How do you decide where you will work? How do you decide what you will do with your life? He says, I do whatever other people tell me to do. Whatever other people tell me is good for me, I do that. And I said, who are these other people? My family, my mother, my father, my brother, my boss, my friends. What does that mean? That just means you're simply floating and you're letting the world kick you wherever you're going. Let me give you a very nice analogy here. Are you the football on the field in a football match being kicked around by 20 players, 20 plus players? Are you the football being kicked around by all the players on the field? Or are you the player kicking the football on the field? Authenticity means you become the player in your own life. You stop listening to the external voice, external noise. You stop listening to that external noise and you learn how to listen to that inner voice. You know, I coach people for success. I coach people to build great wealth. I coach people to start from zero and become multimillionaires. And one of the things I tell them is that it's essential that you learn how to meditate and control this mindset, because the mind is the beginning of everything. So I teach meditation and mindfulness to CEOs and sports champions and leaders of the world, because it's a tool for their own success. And also, when we are able to train our mind, we can stop listening to all that external noise. And when we can become silent, we listen to that inner voice. So back again, first A is authority. This is how I live my life. You are in charge. You are in control. You are the writer of your life story. What is the future? It's what you make it to be. Your decisions today will design your destiny in the future. No one has written the story of your life. Your work, your karma will write the story of your life. That's authority. I am in charge. It's my life. It's my life to write. But that must come from a place of authenticity. It must really be about you, bringing value and service to the world. So understand, please, authenticity is not about selfishness. It's not about this is what I want for myself. Because what did I do when I became authentic? I wanted to go out and serve the world, empower, elevate, and enlighten the world. That is all about giving. And of course, when we give, we get. It's the law of karma. When we sow, so shall we receive. You get the harvest when you plant the crops and take care of them. The secret of success is very simple. And at the end of the show, I can give everyone the secret of success. So you can go out and make your $1 million businesses. So it must come from a place of authenticity. And authenticity will always be about how you can serve others, how you can serve and give value to the world, how you can benefit the world. And the third A is accountability. Accountability. Because if I say I want to change my job, if I say I want to change my relationship, then I have to hold myself accountable, which means I must be ready to do the work. You know, what is the favorite pastime of the world today? It is complaining and blaming and moaning and whinging. And all the complaining and blaming and moaning and whinging never solved the problem. So accountability is about taking action from a place of responsibility. I change my ways to change my outcome. I change the work I do. I change how I am. I change my behavior, my habits to change the outcome and the results of my life. That's accountability. And if I'm not doing that, who's to blame? Only me. I said to you earlier that you are your biggest asset. Now I also say to you, because every coin has a flip side. One side of the coin is you are your biggest asset. The other side of the coin is you are your biggest liability. You are your biggest problem. Every one of us, we are our biggest problem. That's why we need a coach. That's why we need a guide. That's why we need a mentor. It's impossible to succeed on your own. No one does. There is no person who has ever succeeded on his or her own. We all need coaches, mentors, heroes, guides. We need gurus. We need somebody in our life to pull us up. You get it? So authority comes from a place of authenticity, Serena. And authenticity will always be about service to others, but also about holding accountability for the life you want to create. Let me tell you this before I move on. You have treasure inside you. All of us do. You have a treasure inside you. And you are alive so that you can find this treasure and then bring it out in the service of others. For everyone listening today, we have plenty of people here from all over the world. Let me give it to you very clearly. And then if you need more guidance, come talk to me, connect with me. I can coach you on this. What are we here on earth for? What is the purpose of us being here? Remember, we never show up anywhere without purpose. We are here to find the treasure inside us. Step one, find the treasure inside you. You'll need some coaching for this. You'll need some guidance for this. Don't try to do it alone. No one ever does. You have never gone in that territory. How can you go into a territory without a map, without a guide and find the treasure? You can't. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. Take the easy way out. Take the leverage way out. Find a coach. Step one, find that inner treasure. Step two, learn to bring it out in the benefit of others. So we need to take that treasure inside us and we need to give it to the world. And when you get to do it skillfully, so that you're solving other people's problems, you will reach a level of greatness at whatever you do. Then you will have authority. Authority is something that is created by choice. It comes from a place of authenticity and accountability. So I hope that helps your life, Serena.
I think it doesn't just help Serena's life. I think it just helped every single one of our life, right? By hearing to Vikas sharing his secret 3A formula. It's the first time I'm hearing it as well. And I think it's amazing value that you guys are absolutely getting right here, because this is something that I believe Vikas doesn't really share openly very, very often. In fact, I've never heard of it before. So that was why for the past 10 over minutes, I was also just listening, writing down my own notes, and to be able to understand this 3A formula a lot better, right? Having the authority, followed by authenticity, and also being accountable to what you do and to yourself. So that is amazing, amazing stuff. So Serena, I believe that absolutely answered your question. It nailed it, and it's not just helped you, but it helped every single one of us who is watching this, either right now or the replay later. I'm absolutely loving it. So guys, if you guys have gotten it, you all thought that it's super, super amazing, I want you guys to type 3A. You can type 3A or AAA in the comment section. Let us know that this has been absolutely helpful to you, right? And Agatha, again, but I really want to thank Miss Agatha Tan here. Every single thing that Vikas is sharing, she actually write down like a mini notes for all of us. So I'm going to put it up here. So on behalf of everyone that is watching this, thank you, Agatha, right? So authority is about how you design your life, get free from conditioning. And by the way, the experiment that Vikas was talking about, right, is actually really done by a psychologist called Pavlov, right, for a subject called classical conditioning. I know it because I studied psychology when I was in school, okay? So I love it. So yeah, because you're right, it's done by a psychologist called Pavlov, okay? And it's for classical conditioning. And, number two, authenticity, right? Be the player in your own life. Don't be the football that get kicked around, okay? Don't be the football that get passed around, get kicked around, okay? You are in control. Be the player in your own life. Be authentic about it. And of course, number three, accountability once again. And this is something that we talk about not just now. We talk about it, in fact, from the very, very beginning of the show, right? There are many things that you can't control. You can't control the pandemic. You can't control the government. You can't control the weather. You can't control the movement of the stars and things like this. But you can control who? You, right? You can control yourself. You can change yourself. So be accountable to your own life. Be accountable to you. All right. So that's amazing, right? This 3A formula. And I just love how, when Vikas is sharing, it's about the consistency of what he's sharing all the time. Everything that he's sharing relates back to the principle, the wisdom that he's been sharing with us all this single time. So you know that, no, he's not just making things up, right? Vikas is not just making things up. Vikas is really being very consistent with everything that he's saying, right? Vikas is really just, providing us with the wisdom that has guided him in his life for the many, many years, right? By finding his purpose, by being accountable, by being in control, by being sharing everything that he knows with us today. So again, for everyone that is watching this, Vikas, I want to thank you very much for all the amazing wisdom that you have been sharing with us. And we have all these people typing in, right? Sammy, Sally, Veron, Agatha, Serena, Nathan, Regina, Rose, and my dad, we are all, yeah, even my dad type AA, right? We all love the wisdom you're sharing with us. And I just want to touch on something that you mentioned earlier as well. And you were sharing about the idea that every single one of us need a coach. Right? Need a coach in order for us to be able to bring our game forward, be it in life or be it in wisdom. Now, I just want to help every one of us who is watching this understand this wisdom better. Why is it that we need a coach? Why can't we just go out there and be more accountable to ourselves? Why can't we just go out there and read more or control our life more? Why do we need a coach to guide us through this journey? So I believe some of us may be wondering about this. So Vikas, what's the wisdom behind having a coach?
Excellent question, Gavin. And let me tell everyone that there are two ways to live your life. Okay, there are two ways to live your life. The first way is the long, hard way. The long, hard, it's full of mistakes, it's full of struggles, it's full of wrong turns. And that way is going to take a lot of time and energy and effort. But the second way is an easy way. And the easy way is that you find someone who has walked this path before and you walk with this person so that you are supported, you're inspired on the journey, and you are kept on the path so you don't take the wrong turns. Think about life. For everything that we have done in our life, everything that we have learned in our life, we have had somebody teach us. We had to learn how to use a knife and a fork. We had to learn how to wear our clothes. We had to learn how to brush our teeth. We had to learn how to speak, how to write, how to talk. We had to learn everything. So first of all, understand that learning is a part of your life. And if you think you're only going to learn by yourself, then you're taking the hard way out. Another thing that we all need to understand is that in life, there is no champion without a coach. There is no champion without a coach. So you have to ask yourself the question, what do you want to be? Do you just want to be a normal player in your field, in your business, in your industry? Or do you want to be the champion of your industry? In your field, in your work, in your area, what do you want to be? Do you want to be just at the normal, mediocre level? Or do you want to be at the level of excellence and greatness and skill and champion? Because there is no champion without a coach. And also, the greatest champions have the greatest coaches. That's an interesting thing. The greatest champions have the greatest coaches. So we all need someone to follow because there will be times in our life when we will get confused. And by the way, when you're confused, how do you get rid of that confusion? And let me tell you, if you go on to Google, you will be even more confused. Right? The more books you read, the more confused you will get. You get onto YouTube, you will be even more confused because for every video, there's another counter video. So clarity is one of the functions of a good coach. And how do you decide if this is a good coach? The first thing you look at is authenticity. Is this coach a living example of what they are teaching? What they are giving me? Are they coaching me on this? Is this person a living example of that? A living example? Because listen up, everyone. Look, we live in a world of pretense and hype. Okay, it's very easy on social media to set up a web page and make it very jazzy and snazzy. But don't fall for the smoke and mirrors. Don't fall for the smoke and the smoke and mirrors game here. You need to find authenticity. Authenticity in the person's life, but then authenticity also with their actions. And also what you need to do is you need to discuss with their students, talk to their students, see what their people are like. Because they say, the fruit never falls far from the tree. And what this means is that if this person is an effective coach, then they will be coaching people effectively. So you need to work with the people also who are around them to ask if they have been helped. Another thing you need to look at is the longevity of the coach. The longevity means their lifespan, right? How long have they been doing this? Because there's a lot of people who show up after the one weekend. People attend a one weekend course and they start calling themselves a coach. And nowadays, you're living in a world where you cannot trust your eyes. Remember, I say this to all my students. You're living in the world of fake news, fake media, fake videos. In fact, there's something called deep fake and fake coaches. People attend a one weekend program. They attend an online program. They have a certificate. I'm a coach, XYZ practitioner, master practitioner, and all of this. The fact is, what have they done with their life? Have they sorted their life out? And also, you need to see that a good coach will not try to just make an impact. Not just an impact. They will actually create a difference. They will have the influence. They will have that inspiration, which will show you that it's real. So we all need a coach. Not having a coach is an ego exercise because it says to me that I'm good enough. Why do I need anybody else? I can do it all on my own. But we didn't even learn how to walk on our own. We didn't learn how to ride a bicycle on our own. We didn't learn how to read and write and eat and dress on our own. So we need a coach for everything. And if excellence is your goal, if being a champion is your goal, we need a coach. If you want to run a successful business, we need a coach. Let me give you something that I learned many years ago in my life, something very interesting. And I'll use it as a metaphor, okay, for everyone. Let's say I'm sitting in Singapore and I want to go to KL, Kuala Lumpur. Can I walk it there? Can I walk from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur without a map, without any guidance, all alone by myself? And the answer is yes, I can. But it may take me 1 month. I may get lost many times on the way because I don't have a map. I don't have Google Maps. I'm doing it all on my own. You know why? Why do I need the guidance? I can do it all on my own. And I'll get there maybe 1 month later. And by the time I get there, I will be tired and exhausted. And it would have taken away 1 month from my life. But there's a second option. Can I get on a flight which will take me from Singapore to KL, Kuala Lumpur? The answer is yes. If I get on a flight, how long does it take me? 30 minutes. Do I get lost on the way? No, I don't. Do I lose 1 month? No, I don't. I save 1 month of my time. I save 1 month of my life. On the flight, I don't get lost. When I walk alone, I'll get lost. On the flight, I don't get distracted and diverted. When I walk alone, I get distracted and diverted by the shiny object syndrome. And one more thing. If I walk it after 1 month, when I arrive there, I'm tired and exhausted. If I get on a flight, I arrive in half an hour, I'm rested, I'm ready to go. But you see, getting on the flight needs me to buy a ticket. And that ticket has an investment entry barrier. If I can get the ticket and if I have the wisdom, I'll always take the flight. I won't walk it to KL because the objective is how to get to KL in the fastest way possible. And that, my dear students and friends out there, is why we need a coach. We need a coach who has the wisdom and the tools and who is a living example of how to achieve what I want to achieve. This person must be authentic. They must have credibility with their own students and in their own life, and they must have a history behind them. And that person is the right coach. Get whatever you need to get that coach. Listen to me again. Get whatever you need to get that coach, and you will save yourself years and years and years of your life. What is time? Time is life. Save time. Money you can always earn. Time you can't. That's why we all need a coach.
Wow. I mean, really, I have to agree with Vikas right here. I think it really boils down to what you want, right? All of us want success, right? And we will all get there, especially with all the wisdom that Vikas has given us. We will all get there. Now, I think the question is, how fast do you want to get to the point where you achieve the success objectively, subjectively to what you define it to be, right? Do you want it to be fast or do you want it to be slow? Like what Vikas has mentioned, that's a great analogy there, right? If you want to get to KL, you could you could go to KL, you can walk your way there without any guidance, everything, and you will get there. It's just a matter of how long before you get there, right? But if you have a coach, right, and you have a coach at a certain level, he will just tell, okay, you can literally take a coach a bus to go to KL. That will take you a few hours, right? But if you got a great coach, if you're a champion, right, you want to be a champion and you get a great coach, for someone like Vikas, you buy a ticket, you'll be there in half an hour, right? The planes go up. By the time you are not even up there yet, the plane is descending and you are there in KL, right? It's about how fast you want your success to be. So I think that's an amazing analogy, and that's really fundamentally why we all need a coach, right? So guys, we have been at this for close to 1.5 hours already. We have really gotten so much, right? Time really flies, and we have gotten so much out of Vegas tonight. And I'm just gonna leave it to perhaps one or two final questions before we call it a night, because I don't want to take up too much of his time. Normally Vikas charges a lot for people to be seeking advice like this from him. So I really want to respect his time as well as his privacy, right? I don't want to take up too much of his time. So just a few more questions that we have here before we call it a night. And I just want to bring up a question that someone asked earlier, because I do not want to be missing out on this. We have the question actually from Goran, right? I actually have a question from Goran. And Goran actually asked something that is more business related, I believe. And he actually asked, what is the most important competency that Vikas would think that is vital to future leaders and manager? So Vikas, what would that competency be, and why?
Excellent question, Goran, and good to see you on the show, Goran. Goran is from Switzerland, Gavin. So
wow.
You have an international audience here. Hi, Goran. Goran is himself a coach, and he's doing great work with big companies, and he's coaching CEOs. So fantastic, Goran. I'm amazed at the work you're doing and the successes you're producing. Great question. What is the most important competency for future leaders? So according to me, this is from my wisdom, and let me explain also why I give you this answer. According to me, the greatest quality in any good leader now or in the future is going to be empathy. Empathy. And what does empathy mean? Empathy means understanding the mindset and the emotions of the person on the other side, means the person I'm dealing with. So empathy is about connection with people, because when you can connect with people, you can understand them. You can understand what they are feeling, what their mindset is. And once you do that, then you are able to seek that cooperation, or you are able to get that influence that you need as a leader. Because a leader is all about leading. A leader's first and most important role is to lead. That's where the word leader comes from. Someone who leads, which means someone who gives direction. So if I need to give direction to people and I need to take people to a certain path or a certain way, then I need their cooperation. I get their cooperation when I have that empathy, so I can understand their mind and their emotions. So the most important element is empathy. But now let's go a little bit deeper, okay? Because Goran himself is training CEOs. I want to give him this wisdom. Let's go a little bit deeper. Where does empathy come from? Where does empathy come from? So books are written on empathy. A lot of people talk about empathy, but empathy comes from self-understanding. How do I understand others? It's when I understand myself. So to be empathetic to others, I must first do the work upon myself. I must do the inner work. I must go deep within. I must use that wisdom to understand my own mindset, my own fears, my own insecurities, my own emotions, my own triggers. So when I do the work on myself is when I understand others. In the spiritual field, right? In my spiritual teachings, I give you this very beautiful line. I give you a very powerful formula. When you have self-realization, which is self-understanding, when you have self-understanding, you have understanding of others. When you have understanding of others, you have understanding of society. When you have understanding of society, you have understanding of planet. So where does it start from? It starts from me, understanding of myself. Then it comes to the others, which is empathy, understanding of others. Then it's about understanding the next level. Then it's about understanding the next level all the way till the planet. But where does it begin? It begins with me. So if I cannot understand myself, I cannot understand others. I can have no empathy. The most important quality for leaders today and in the future is empathy, because empathy will bring cooperation, it will bring understanding, it will bring that place of connection. And it begins by self-understanding. I hope that helps you, Goran.
Wow, amazing sharing. So Goran, I hope that really helped you. I love the fact that you mentioned earlier, like empathy comes from connection, because I think a lot of us we keep hearing the word empathy, but I think it's very difficult for us to really understand what empathy is and how can we actually use empathy to relate to the people that we are working with. And right now, I think we got that answer there. That's pure wisdom. Empathy, right, comes from self-understanding. It's come from the connection that you have with the other people. That's absolute wisdom there. Okay, so Goran, Goran said thank you, and he got the answer there. Nice to have you guys all on the show. And we have actually one more question from this amazing lady. Her name is Rose, and she actually typed quite a fair bit there. And the question actually simply, the question is actually just the first line, right? Vikas, can you share your best wisdom tip to stop self-sabotage? So over to you.
Yeah, Rose, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Wisdom Show, okay? You said you arrived a little bit late. You were on the wrong thread, but you're here now, so let us give you some great value. Self-sabotage. Why do we do it? Understand the root of it first. Imagine a child being born, okay? A new baby. A baby doesn't self-sabotage. So all self-sabotage is a conditioned behavior. I say this again, it's very deep, and I know where you're coming from. All self-sabotage is a conditioned behavior. Life doesn't teach us that, but the circumstances of life may teach us that. So the way to get free from self-sabotage is to get to the root of where that behavior started, to understand why it happened so that I don't do it again. And once I understand why it happened, once I come to the circumstances of why it happened, it could be an event that happened in my life, it could be a person in my life, even maybe perhaps when I was only a child growing up, but I was given the behavior of self-sabotage. And then it has never been checked. It has never been managed. It has never been seen. All habits become unconscious. All habits become unconscious, including the habit of self-sabotage. And when something is unconscious, it becomes a default. So every time I start being a little successful, I go into default mode, I self-sabotage, I come down again. Every time I start building a good relationship, a happy relationship with a partner, as soon as I start building up, I go into my default mode, I self-sabotage, the relationship breaks up, I do something wrong, boom, I'm back down where I am, because that's my operating system, even though it's unconscious. So I need to make it conscious. Very simple wisdom formula. You need to make the unconscious into the conscious. I need to figure out what is the behavior, what triggers it, why did it start. Once I see that one time, once I understand that one time, then I want to create new behaviors. And often I will need support to do this. I will need support to do this. Imagine what happens to a person, let's say a person like me, okay? I'm physically fit, I'm 6'2", I'm quite strong, everything works, I'm in good health. So let's say I get into an accident, okay? God forbid, I'm just saying this as an example to explain to you a deep lesson. Because one of my strengths is to take deep wisdom and make it very simple. So let's say I get into an accident and you know what? I'm in a coma for 3 months. I'm in a hospital, I can't move. In fact, I'm just there. I'm on the bed, I don't even move. 3 months later, I come out of the coma and now I try to walk. And guess what? I can't even walk. I can't even walk because my muscles atrophied. I forgot how to walk properly. And what do I need to do then? I need to get a coach to teach me how to walk again. I don't know. My body doesn't know how to walk properly. I need to get a coach to teach me how to walk again. So I get that coach, I get that external support, and they show me how walking will happen. And I learn a new way to walk because my muscles have been damaged. My coma has taken away parts of my body's functioning. Now I need to learn how to walk again. And I learned the new way of walking. And a couple of months later, you know what? I don't need the coach. I'm ready to go out and walk and run and sprint and jump and do and skip it. I can do everything. Similarly, when we make the unconscious into the conscious, we may need an external coach. It's very difficult to do this exercise again, because if you could do it, you would have already done it. And because you can't see it, that's why it's the unconscious. So you need to find somebody to guide you. Once you find that somebody, listen to their guidance and follow, and you will see the results. If you get the right coach, you will see the results, guaranteed. If you don't see the results, it's not the right coach, move on. So I hope that helps you. You need to get yourself to the root of that self-sabotage, and then you need to resolve the problem at the root. Remember, please don't fight with the fruit. You need to resolve the root. Go to the root and make the change there. The fruit changes when the root changes. You water the roots, you grow the fruits. Very simple. And that's the wisdom secret for you.
Wow. Once again, my God, guys, this is so amazing, right? I hope the show will never, ever needs to end. But, you know, we are reaching a time limit here. We have been online for close to 1 hour, 40 minutes right now. And Vikas has really shared so much with us. And I want to thank you once again. And Sally actually says that, you know, the wisdom shows need to be a monthly thing.
Gavin, this could become the next Oprah show. You could be the next Oprah of Singapore. Imagine that.
I would love to do that. All right, I'd love to be able to. You got a car, and you got a car. Bro, but I mean, jokes aside, I really think that perhaps if we could take this offline, we could discuss to see how we could really come together, because we have great purpose, we have a great mission, and I think it's really important that more people need to hear from you to be able to learn all the amazing wisdom that you're actually sharing, right? But apart from the show, I know that I think I'm aware that there's a way that they can actually reach out to you, because I know you run Soul Center and you have your own coaching programs, right? For many of the people who are watching this, they may already know you, but there are going to be some people who actually who might be new to you, and they are absolutely captivated by what you are sharing, and they may want to actually look for you to perhaps become their coach, right? To become the one that help them discover the root cause of the things that they are going through in life. If anyone would like to actually go through that route, is there a way that they could reach out to you for you to become their coach, right? Is there an option currently, Vikas?
Yes, Gavin, there is an option. I coach people all over the world, and I coach people in groups. I also coach people privately. So I have a group which is called the Wow Inner Circle, and these are my top level clients all around the world, and they are with me on a full 1 year program where I coach them one-on-one. But then I also coach people in groups, in group classes, and depending on which level you're at and what you're ready to invest in your time, energy, effort, I can tell you what's the best option for you. So reach out to me and connect with me on email. The best way is to write to me and tell me what are your challenges, and then I'll tell you how I can support you. My email is info@soulcenter.org, right? Info@soulcenter, which is my company.org. Maybe we can write it here for everyone, Gavin. Info@soulcenter.org. So write to me on email and connect also with me on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. Facebook is under my name, my personal page. You can connect with me, friend with me, or follow me. And then LinkedIn, I'm also there. So you can reach me on LinkedIn. And then I have a YouTube channel. There's lots of videos there. It's called Soul Center SG, Singapore, right? Soul Center Singapore SG, Soul Center SG. So you can reach me. So write to me about what your challenges are, and I'm happy to discuss with you what is the best way forward for you. On my inner circle, I must say we don't have too many places available, because these are my absolutely top level clients, and I give them a lot of my time, my life, my value, and the greatest level of wisdom. So I only have a couple of spots left on that because it's a 1-year commitment. So I do not take everybody. I'm very selective. But on the group programs that we do have a lot of programs happening. Before I go, I just want to say that, what I did, Gavin, recently is I did a little survey. I asked a group of my students, I said, what's your greatest challenge at the moment? Let's say you have the wisdom, right? So if I bring in the wisdom, what's your greatest challenge in life at the moment? And interestingly enough, the greatest challenge that people said they have is in earning more income. So people said that their greatest challenge is to earn more money in their job, in their career, or in their business. How do I earn more income? So I'm putting together a program which is called the WOW Exponential Success Program. All right, it's called the WOW Exponential Success Program, ESP, Exponential Success Program, in which I share with them a 7-step formula on how they can massively increase the income that they're having in their career or in their business. It's what I teach my top-level clients. It's what I teach businesses and my top-level CEOs and business owners around the world. So I'm going to start that, not this month, not in August, not in September. I'm going to start it in October. But if that's your challenge also, then reach out to me and tell me that you want to be on the WOW Exponential Success Program, and I'll share the details with you.
Wow. So I think Vikas really have a lot of different programs and a lot of different coaching packages that really suit you. I think the important thing here is that, Vikas really wants to help you. Vikas is someone that I know him in person, obviously, and, he's really someone who authentically want to help people who needs it. So, he's not just telling you, hey, go and get my one-on-one coaching, right? That's not what he's saying, right? All he's saying is that reach out to him, right? Connect with Vikas so that he can understand you better, and he will be able to tell you what is it that you absolutely need, right? You might not need the one-to-one, right? Maybe the best part for you is just perhaps join the ESP program. That would be good enough for you. Or perhaps you just need to join the group coaching, and that would be something that's suitable for you at this point of time. So I highly recommend anyone that is watching this and perhaps you are not yet connected to Vikas on a personal level, just click on you can't click on this, unfortunately, but you can find Vikas on Facebook. Just type Vikas Malkani, or the link is just right there. Reach out to him, connect with him, and I'm sure he'll be able to really provide you the best possible value, right? If you guys agree with me, absolutely, right, that you have gotten so much value out of this session alone, out of this interview session alone, just type wow in the comment section and let us know, right? Because it blew my mind, right? Every single time I speak to Vikas, it just blows my mind, my world away. Okay, so Vikas, coming to the end of the show, this is one of the things that I always ask for people who's on the show. And today, I think I just want to change that question a little bit, right? If there's someone that comes up to you, because many people who watch my show, they are aspiring entrepreneurs. They are someone, maybe they are solopreneurs. They're someone who are just looking to start up a business, right? And if they were to come up to you for one piece of advice, now normally I will use the word advice, but if they will come up to you for one piece of wisdom that they could get from the world's #1 wisdom coach, right? What would that one piece of wisdom be? Just one? You can't say anything more than that, but what would that one piece of wisdom be?
Very simple. Stop stopping yourself.
Wow. Okay. So there you have it, guys. As simple as that, right? Stop stopping yourself. And I think this links back to what Vikas shared with us earlier in the show as well, right? You are your biggest asset. You are your greatest asset, but at the same time, you could also be your greatest liability, right? So remember what we want to do. We want to apply wisdom. We want the positive side of it. So remember, you are your biggest asset, and don't let yourself be your biggest liability. Stop stopping yourself, right? That's an amazing wisdom there from Vikas Malkani. Guys, please join me once again in thanking Vikas for joining us on the show. Please thank the world #1 wisdom coach, Steve Jobs of Wisdom, for joining us tonight, for spending the precious 1 hour 46 minutes of his life, of his time, right, of his busy schedule to be joining us on the show tonight. So just type thank you Vikas, tag him, add him on Facebook, on
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, again, this is Gavin, right? So if you're not yet connected with me, feel free to connect with me as well, right? On Facebook or Instagram, use my handle down below at Hey Gavin Sim. If you're on YouTube watching this either live or on the replay, remember to give me a thumbs up, right? Comment, right? Subscribe, and also click on the notification bell, because I do this show, like conversation with successful entrepreneurs, at least once a week. And every time I am getting amazing entrepreneurs onto the show who share with you their mindsets, their strategies, because like what Vikas was saying, right? The wisdom. I want you guys to know that you guys don't have the limit. Stop stopping yourself. We are all here. We are all great. We all can achieve what we want in our life. So this is the whole purpose of this show. I really want you guys to be listening to all these amazing entrepreneurs. And again, if you are not yet connected to Vikas, please connect with him on Facebook, on Instagram, or just email him at info@soulcenter.org. Right, he has also his YouTube channel. I will put down all the links later if possible, so that you guys can connect with him. But please be connected with him. If not, next week, right? Next week I'm going to be having on this show again. I'm going to be having another amazing entrepreneur. His name is Nicholas Ting. He's one of the best email marketer that I know, and he's helping to change hundreds, if not thousands, of lives, right? During this pandemic, during this crisis, to help more people generate income, passive income, from the comfort of their own home. And that is one of the amazing things that he does. But he has an amazing story as well. So next week, I'm going to have Nicholas Ting on the show. And it's going to be absolute blast. And I welcome everybody to join me on the next Wednesday, right? If I'm not mistaken. I want everyone to join me on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. on this channel again. And you'll be hearing from Nick Tim himself. But back to tonight's guest, Vikas Malkani. Amazing show. And I would like to pass on the last word to Vikas. So Vikas, you could end off the show before I play the outro. Is there anything final, right? The last few minutes and seconds is yours. Anything you would like to say to them?
If you never talk to me again, if these are my last words to you, then they are these. Your life is the greatest gift you have. Don't waste it. Celebrate it. Don't wait to celebrate. Start today. It's the greatest gift you have, your life. Celebrate it fully. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. I'm so happy that I was able to share wisdom to help you in your life, in your business, in your potential. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Gavin. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next week. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.